with our session. Just 4 minutes. If they are not here, we just continue. This means that the both of you will be doing the reading for me. Sorry guys, my mic was off. Welcome. We're just waiting for others to join. Welcome Janet, welcome Emmanuel. We're just giving it for 3 minutes now. Quarter past, if they're not here, we are going to begin with our session, and this just means that the two of you will be reading for me because we don't have anyone else. So let's just wait 3 more minutes and then we can begin with our session. Three minutes. 3. Two minutes remaining, and then we start. I don't know where everyone is, but hopefully we cannot say we cancel because others are not here. We are just going to continue as we are. Even if there was one of you, I was still going to continue. So yeah, let's wait 2 minutes now. Just 2 minutes. And then we continue. Just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, a minute. Welcome, Florence. Welcome.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, we're just waiting a minute for others to join. If they're not here within a minute, then we're just going to begin anyway.
Okay. All
All right.
right.
All right. So, guys, we are going to begin since we have limited time. So, yesterday we were busy with the dialogues. If you remember, I said that you will be I'm just gonna okay, hopefully you've seen me guys today, but I'm just gonna put the camera off so that so that yes, I'm just gonna put the camera off. That's for a little bit, and then you are going to read for me today. You're going to volunteer to read for me, and then if we have a conversation, a dialogue that has 3 people, this means that 3 people are going to read. If it's 2 people, you can read again the first dialogue, the second one, it's okay as long as you want to. And if you even if you don't want to, it's still okay, but I advise you to read, because it's also going to help you be able to construct a sentence, understand the conversation, and convey a meaning through your punctuation or whatever. So I'm going to go to the document now, and then we see where we stopped yesterday. So Okay, let's see. Um, okay, okay. We were here ordering a meal, I think. So who is going to volunteer for us? Who is going to volunteer for us to read? We have Waiter and Ralph. Okay, we have Florence. Who else? Who else will be joining? Florence and Janet. All right. This means that Florence, you are the waiter. Okay, we also have Anna. Who is going to be Anna? Who is going to portray the role of Anna? Florence, you are the waiter. And then Janet, you are Ralph. And Nelson, Nelson, you are the waiter. No. Sorry. Nelson, you are Ralph. Florence, you are the waiter. And Janet, you are Anna. I'm going to zoom in the screen. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to off the mic now so that there won't be any distractions from my side. So what is going to happen is that as soon as I put the screen on, you start. As soon as I zoom in the screen, you start because my mic will be off.
Can I begin to read?
As soon as I put my screen on Zoom, you can begin because I'm offing my mic because I don't want any distractions. I need to hear you clearly. So as soon as you
Okay.
see the screen, you can begin.
Okay. Okay. Hello. I will be a waiter today. Can I start you off with something to drink?
Yes, I will have iced tea, please.
And I'll have lemonade.
Okay. Are you ready to order, or do you need a few minutes?
I think we are ready. I will have the tomato soup to start and the roast beef with mashed potatoes and peas.
How do you want to how do you want the beef? Rare medium or well done?
Well done, please.
And I'll just have the fish with the potatoes and the salad.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much. That was nice. So, guys, as you can see, we have a conversation that is taking place in a restaurant. The moment we say someone is ordering a meal, you know that they are in a restaurant. So now we are going to have a look at the language keys, the language note, the keys note, language key, but the key factor, the importance of the conversations. Now I'm going to share again the screen and try to explain how this conversation went. We have the waiter here who says, "Hello, I'll be your waiter today. Can I start you off with something to drink?" And then Ralph says, "Yes, I'll have iced tea, please." And then Anna said, "And I'll have the lemonade." Waiter said, "Okay, are you ready to order or do you need a few minutes?" And then Ralph said, "I think we're ready. I'll have tomato soup to start and the roast beef with mashed potatoes and peas." And then the waiter asked, "How do you want the beef? Rare, medium, or well done?" Rare, medium, or well done? And then Ralph says, "Well done, please." And then Anna says, "And I'll just have the fish with potatoes and a salad." So now, as you can see here in our conversation, we have the words that are bolded. They are written with dark, bold color. This shows you that they emphasize or they mean something. Now we are going to go to the language notes. As you can see there, we have, "Can I start you off with something to drink?" Basically, this you can notice how the question starts with can. All right. Since this is a yes or no question, the intonation rises at the end. So now you know that if someone is asking you a question and they begin their question with can, you have to know that the answer is a yes or no answer. And being it as it is, the intonation rises at the end. Can I start you off? Can I start you off with something to drink? It means you expecting a yes or a no. Even if a question it's not the one in the context, but it's just conjunctual question or a normal question. Someone says, "Can you please do this, and that?" You say yes or you say no. And then we have I'll have lemonade. Notice how Anna stresses "I'll" and lemonade to emphasize her choice. It means that Anna is stating it clear that the lemonade is what she wants, and "I'll have lemonade." She emphasizes that she wants lemonade. And then we have, "Are you ready to order or do you need a few minutes?" Are you ready to order or do you need a few minutes? The word "or," it signals a choice. When someone asks you a question and they state the word "or," they are giving you a choice. You have to notice the rising intonation on "order" and the falling intonation on "minutes," because the first choice is, "Are you ready to order?" It means that the question is a yes no question. And then the second choice is, "Do you need a few minutes?" So this one, it's stating that it's a question whereby you give them a choice. Are you ready to order, or do you need a few minutes? Meaning that the question can be answered with yes, we are ready to order, or they place their order, or they could say we need a few minutes. This is a question of choice. When you see a word or, you should know that a choice is given in this question. And then we have I'll have the tomato soup to start, and the roast beef with mashed potatoes and peas. In this one, notice that tomato soup, roast beef, mashed potatoes, and peas are stressed because the food order is the important information here. These choices that he made, they are emphasized, they are stressed because that is the most important information on the context. And notice also that the tomato soup, roast beef, and mashed potatoes are compound words. This means that the stress syllable falls on the second word in each phrase. This means that when we say tomato soup, roast beef, and mashed potatoes, this means that soup from tomato soup is stressed, and then beef from roast beef is stressed, and then potatoes from mashed potatoes is stressed. And then we have well done, please. Notice that the subject and verb are omitted in the response. Only the necessary information is given. This, it basically means that you are, when someone says I'll have the well done, please, it's not, there's no emphasis, but here in this context they emphasized only the important and necessary information. You are no longer adding words like I think I'll have well done. You just simply state an important information, which in this scenario is well done, please. That is the only information that is stressed, that is emphasized, because it is the necessary information. And then we have I'll just have fish. Anna says just here to mean that she does not want a starter. When someone uses a word like just in some context, it can mean that that is the only thing you want. Another example where you can use just is you are at a party, you are tired, you want to go home, but your friend still wants to be there. The words that you can use is I just want to go home. I just want to go home. This emphasizes that it is the only thing you want at that moment. You just want to go home. So in this text, she says that I'll just have the fish, meaning that the fish is the only thing that she wants. She does not want a starter. And then we have another conversation at the doctor's office. So I'm coming back to this. I need um, my volunteers. Who's going to read for us? Okay, I'm seeing Florence hands is up. Who else is joining Florence? In this case, we have let me check. We have it's probably the doctor, because we are at the doctor's office, and we also have um Kathy. We have doctor, we have Kathy. So who is going to be Kathy and who's going to be the doctor? Anyone? It's Nelson and Florence. This means that Nelson, you are the doctor, Florence, you are Kathy.
Okay.
All right, you can begin, guys.
Okay, you are waiting the screen.
It's
What
there.
seems what
Yes,
seems what seems to be the problem?
Florence.
Yeah. Kathy say, well, I have, I have, I, Kathy said, well, I have a bad coach and a sore throat.
A
I
bad
also have
cough. A bad cough.
a bad cough, a
Yeah,
bad
cough.
cough,
Yes.
cough.
No, listen,
Well,
listen to me. Listen to me. Um, it's cough. Like at the end of the H, there's no other letter, so you have to say cough, and then do not add
cough,
anything there. Yes, cough.
cough.
Yes. Well, I have a bad cough and a sore throat.
Okay. Well, I have a bad cough and a sore throat. I
Throat.
also have a headache, a headache.
Headache. Yes.
Mhm.
How long
Okay,
how long have
can you start? Can the doctor? Can you start from the beginning? The doctor.
okay, man. What seems to be the problem?
Kathy said, well, I have a bad cough
Okay,
and
Florence,
yeah,
sorry to
we,
disturb you a little bit. When you read, we
uh,
know that you are Kathy. You don't have to say it because I normally I say it because I'll be the only person reading. So with
okay,
you, don't say, just start with reading because when he says what seems to be the problem, we already know that is the doctor, and then you just continue. Don't read the
oh,
name.
okay.
All right.
What seems to be the problem?
Well, well, I have a bad cough and a sore throat. I also have a headache.
How long have you had this symptom?
About 3 days now, and I am really tired too.
It sounds like you have got the flu. Take aspirin every 4 hours and get plenty of rest. Make sure you drink a lot of fluids. Call me if you are still sick next week.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you so much, guys. um we have a conversation between the doctor and Kathy. We have a conversation between the doctor and Kathy. So, from what we can see here is that Kathy is probably having the symptoms of a sickness, and now she goes to the doctor to consult, to check what could be the problem. So now, as you can see, We have words that are highlighted, rather, I would say bolded. This means that you will get the importance or why they are like that. So now we look at our language notes. What seems to be the problem? It's a question asked by the doctor. This means that what is the problem? And then you should notice the intonation falls at the end of the question. This means that the doctor wants information and not a yes or no. So basically, you should check these statements. When someone is talking and they're asking a question, and then the intonation rises, it could be that the question is a yes or no question. But in this context, the intonation falls at the end of the question, meaning that the doctor wants an information. Basically, you should also look at the beginning of the question. Our question begins off at what? When someone says what, you cannot say to them yes or no. You are obviously going to state an information of what really is the problem. And then we have, well, this one is used as an introductory word. This one is used as an introductory word. And then you should notice how the vowel is drawn out. It sounds like well. And then why is it like that? It's because it can be used to buy time. This can be used to buy time. And then while you think of what to say, because Kathy is not sure of what seems to be her problem, so she is still thinking what to say to the doctor, which is why she's taking time, which is why she's buying time by saying, well, I have a bad cough and a sore throat. She doesn't really know what the problem is. So she is taking her time. I mean, she's buying time to think what she will tell the doctor. Basically, what she said is, well, I have a bad cough and a sore throat. I also have headache. You are in a doctor's office, you don't know what's wrong with you, and you are asked what's wrong. You'll probably think about what you are going to say because that person you are talking to is a doctor. And then we have a bad cough, a sore throat, a headache. And then you should notice that these words have an article before them. An article. Normally, normally an article is used if the words the bad cough, sore throat, or headache were beginning with vowels. The article would have been n, n, like when you say a word that normally is a word, a vowel, before a word that begins with a vowel, like example, you say an example instead of a example. Also, um apartment, words like apartment, you cannot say a apartment, but you can say an apartment. And then the n that I'm talking about is an apartment, an example, an article, and overall. You cannot state the article A if your letter, or I mean, if your word begins with a vowel. So in this case, the article is used as A because our words are beginning with consonants. And then we have about. This one is used to mean more or less. Like when you say, your friends were looking for you. And then I would ask you, what time were they here? You will say about 2ish, 3ish. It's mainly used to give an estimate of time. It's something that says you are not sure, but it's around that time, about 2, 3 days ago, about 5, 6. You are not sure of the time, and then you use about for estimation. And then we have take aspirin, get rest, make sure, call me. Notice that the doctor uses the simple tense here to give instructions. This is the imperative form of the verb. The doctor is not saying you will take or you took. He says take aspirin, get rest, make sure, call me. He uses what? The simple tense to give instructions. These are the simple tense: take, make, call, get. And then we have still sick. This means when someone says I'm still sick, it means that continue to be sick. If you continue to be sick, do this, do that, and call me. This is basically the the emphasis on some of the words that you need to know when speaking English every day. We have asking directions. Who will be reading for us? Let me go down to see the characters. We have Mark and Nancy. Who's going to be Mark and who's going to be Nancy? Okay, let me check the names. All right, we have Kalala and Florence. We have Kalala and we have Florence. This means that Mark is Kalala, and then Florence, you are Nancy. Let me uh, zoom the screen so that we can all see. Let me zoom in the screen so that we can all see. Right, you may start. Mark and Kalala. Sorry, Mark and Nancy.
Am I Mark?
No, you are Nancy.
You can
Okay.
start.
Yes, please.
Excuse me. Could you tell me where? Uh, could you tell me where the library is?
Yeah, I am not seeing the screen.
How come? How come you are not seeing the screen because it's there? Okay, can you try to open the one that is in your phone?
Open what?
The document from your phone. Can you try and do
The,
that?
the, the text disappear. Okay, it is good now.
All right.
Okay. Yes, it is that way. You go 3 block to Washington Street, then turn right. It is on the corner across from the bank.
Thank. have only been in town a few days, so I really
Thanks.
don't.
Thanks. There's S there.
Thanks,
Yes.
thanks, thanks. I've only been in town a few days, so I really don't know my way around yet.
Oh, I know how you feel. We moved here a year ago, and I still don't know where everything is.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. That was nice. Even though I have a few corrections, I need to correct this. And then I also need whoever. Okay, Florence, can you please close the mic, my darling? Please. Thank you. I'm also going to need um everyone else to let me open this camera. I'm also going to need everyone else to listen to this. It's excuse me, could you tell me where the library is? When you are having these dialogues, guys, try to put yourself there at the scene. Remember that Mark is new in town, he doesn't know anyone. So, probably when you see someone that you don't know, even in your reality, you would humble yourself and say, excuse me, could you tell me where the library is? And then Nancy will say, yes, it's that way. She's pointing. Yes, it's that way. You go 3 blocks down to Washington Street, then you turn right. It's on the corner across from the bank. And then, thanks. I've only been in town a few days, so I really don't know my way around here yet. Oh, I know. And then she will be like, oh, I know how it feels. We moved here a year ago and I still don't know where everything is. So, guys, I want to highlight a few words that I feel like all of you need to understand the pronunciation of the word. You see here, we have a word ac- across from the bank. Every time you see a letter A at the beginning of your sentence, just know it is pronounced A. Every time you come across a letter A at the beginning of your sentence or your word, it is pronounced A. Remember, I gave you 5 sounds of A. We have A, we have A, we have A, we have double A, we have O. The first one is A, allow, across, away, ago, America, Algeria. That should tell you that whenever you see the A at the beginning of your sentence, you know that it is pronounced A. Away, allow, across, abide, um, associate. Every time you see A at the beginning of your sentence, you should know it's pronounced A, as in A, E, O, U, A. And then when you see there's going to be the A that it's sounding like 2 A's, like father, far, wa, wad, forward. You know that it's pronounced A, like with it sounds like you are it's broaden, like far, father. And then we have another A that sounds like an O. but it's an A. So that one is words like ball, wall, crawl, cross. No, not cross. Mistake. Wall, ball, fall. Usually it's the ones with the double L at the end. That's where you know that your A sounds like an O. And then we have another words that have A that sounds like E, like many, any. It's more like you are using E, but it's an O. So now, when you see a word that begins with A, you should know the A is pronounced A. Allow, abide, arise, again. So next time you read and you see that, you must know that it's A. And then with words like days, the E is pronounced like EI. A, days. Um, Snake. It's almost like you are saying EI, but it's an A. So I need you guys to be very careful when it comes to that. And then for that, in terms of that, I will look for a document that I will send to you just so that you know. And then if we get time, we might look at it and then see if we can catch a few, just because it's in every vowel. Every vowel has different meanings. Every vowel has different pronunciation sounds. We also have letters that have E, but some of them are sounding like I. Some of them are sounding like E as it is. So I will look for a document and send it to you so that you can at least try to get to know these things, because they will also help you in pronunciation and constructing a word. Because sometimes when you pronounce a word and then you say it incorrectly, it might inconvenience the whole sentence. It might make it sound like you are saying something different from what you mean. So it's really going to help you guys. Now I'm going to the language keys, the language notes. Yeah, language note of the conversation. And then we have, could you tell me? Could you tell me? This is slightly more polite than can you tell me. So if you don't know your way around, you can't just meet strangers and start saying, can you tell me where the library is? No, you use words like, could you tell me where the library is? And then we also have again, could you tell me where the library is? In this context, notice that the library is stressed because it is the word with important information. Library is stressed because it is the one that carries information that is important. So now, this is an indirect question. So the subject library comes before the verb is. The word order is reversed in a direct question. Where is the library? When we say it is an indirect question, and when we say that it is an indirect question, we mean that he asked, could you tell me where the library is? Could you tell me where the library is? So when he is being direct, he would say, where is the library? But now he's politely, indirectly asking for the directions too. So when someone is asking a question and they say, could you, you know that it's an indirect question, and it shows that the person is humble because they don't know their way around. And then, because remember, I also said that if someone says, can you show me the library? You can say no because it's a yes no question. But when someone says, could you will then start elaborating, pointing out your directions. This is, you can't in the corner there. You take your left, and then from there you count 3 blocks and you find your place. So now we have yes, it's that way. Yes, it's that way. Notice the stress on that. That. The speaker is pointing in a certain direction and wants to emphasize that direction. If someone is asking for a direction, you cannot say is that way without pointing. You cannot say it is that way without pointing. You emphasize that it is that way because you will be showing the directions with your hands. So if someone says, could you tell me where the library is? And then you say, yes, it is that way. You have to emphasize on that, which is why it is stressed, because it is the way the emphasis is, because you are pointing at the direction. And then we have, I know how you feel. It is a way of saying, I understand. And then you have to notice the emphasis on feel. Why? Because the speaker wants to show empathy and understanding. Obviously, you don't know how they feel, but you feel, you emphasize, empathize, you empathize with them. You try to show them that you feel bad for them. So this means that you can say, I know how you feel. I still don't know where everything is. Notice the word order of where everything is. The subject here is everything. It comes before the verb is. You can't say, I still don't know where is everything. No, 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 no. The subject, which is everything, comes before the verb is. Then this means your statement would be, I still don't know where everything is. This word order is different from the direct question, where is everything? This means that if it's indirect, you would say, I still don't know where everything is. You can't say, I still don't know where is everything. No, 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 you can't say that. You would say, I still don't know where everything is. And then we have another conversation. Calling for help. All right, when I'm saying calling for help, the immediate thing you know is that this is a conversation of a panic, when someone is panicking. So whoever is going to read this, I need to feel you panicking. I need to hear the panic in you. There's question marks here, there's exclamation marks, there's commas, there's full stops. I need to feel each and every punctuation. um Here's the image. It's giving away that they are in a car and they see a car accident. So now I need you to act like you are seeing a car accident and you're calling the police or the 911 or the ambulance. Who is going to read for us? Okay. We have Wilfred. And who else? Who else is going to read? And then we have Kalala. All right. Thank you so much, Jens. Wilfred, you will be Peter, and then Kalala, you'll be Gay. You will be Gail, and then Wilfred will be um. Sorry, Wilfred will be Peter. Now over to you guys.
Hey, that just ran a red light and hit that truck.
Is anyone hurt?
I don't know. Let's call 911. Hello, I'd like to report a car accident near the post office on Charles Street. It looks like a man is hurt. Yes, I just happened it. Okay, thanks. Bye.
What did they say?
They are going to send an ambulance and a police car right away.
Good. They good. They are here. I hope the man is okay.
I know. I have to be so careful when you are driving.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I felt panic. Thank you. And there's another word here. After post office on Charles Street. Peter. The word is it. It is pronounced it. It looks like a man is hurt. Yes, it just happened. It's it. It. A-E. O-U. E. It. You just pronounce E and then you add T. It. I. Which is why I was telling you guys that these, because look at it and then look at like. They both have one vowel, but they are pronounced differently. So the document I'm talking about is going to help you with things like that. All right, now we are looking at our language notes. We have hey. This expression is used to show what? Surprise. But for the surprise is only on this context. Remember, it has 3 or 4 expressions like surprise, joy, disappointment, and excitement. So in this one, this context, they are surprised. And notice how that car just ran a red light and hit the truck. It is what? It is said with a lot of energy. That emphasizes that they are surprised. Hey, that car just ran a red light and it hit that truck. You saw an accident. Even in your home language, when you see an accident and someone is asking you what happened, you say, hey, 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 that car, it just comes and run the red light and hit the energy. We even doing the hands because it is an accident. So now in the context, in a written form, there's a exclamation mark that states that this is a surprise. Even when you are surprised, maybe they are giving you presents, you are surprised, you be like, oh my gosh, with what? A lot of energy. Is anyone hurt? Same as can, the question that has is normally gets a yes or no answer. So the intonation rises at the end. Notice how this question is asked in a worried way. Is anyone hurt? That head has to be up because this is a yes or no question. Usually, I said it and I'm going to say it again. If your intonation rises at the end of your question, this means that it's a yes or no question. But if the intonation falls, this means that it's an information question. Your answer has to be has to have details. And then we have what? We have 911. It is the number or the phone number you dial for emergency service. And the person who answers will ask you questions about the emergency situation and then send out the necessary emergency services, which may include police officers, firefighters, and an ambulance. You see the article there, an ambulance, because our word has a vowel as the beginning of at the beginning of the sentence of the word. So now, guys, 911 is an emergency number in America. In Africa, I don't know about other countries, but in South Africa, we use 112. I don't know about other countries, but basically here it is just being explained because that is the number used on the context on our dialogue. So basically they're just explaining to you what 911 is. Some people don't know that. It's an emergency number. When you Whether you have reception on your phone like a network, whether you have airtime, whether your phone is on flight mode, but the 911 call is always going through because it's an emergency. They know that anything can happen anytime, whether you have your data or you don't have data, whether you have your network, whether you don't have your network, whether your phone is emergency call is emergency. This is what it's explained here. And then we have, I'd like to report a car accident near the post office on Charles Street. Notice how the keywords car accident, post office, and Street are stressed. It's because these are the important details that the emergency services need. Whenever you lay out a statement, if you are hungry, for example, and then you say, I just feel like eating burger. In your statement, the emphasis is on burger because burger is the important information of your context. It is, you are hungry, yes, we get that. You want to eat, yes, we get that. But what do you want to eat? Because now, if you say, I'm hungry, I want to eat, and then someone brings you something that you are allergic to, you can't eat it. This means that you will still be hungry. Or they bring you something that you don't want to eat at the moment, you don't have appetite for, you will still be hungry. But if you emphasize that I want to eat bread, then the bread will be served and then you eat bread, you be satisfied. Which is why in this context, the keywords are car accident, because that is what happened. And then at the post office, you also emphasize, but which post office? At Charles Street. That is where the ambulance should probably be coming. And we have it just happened. This one is a way of saying it happened a moment ago. Notice the stress on just, which emphasizes that the accident happened very, 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 very recent. Um, Remember, guys, we have the two um expressions where we can explain just. The first one, it is the one that I said, it means that the only thing that you want. You can say, I just want cold water. The second one is the one that happens that explains incidents or accidents that happened very recent. You would say it just happened. You can't say the accident happened when recent. You don't have the time frame. Like, you will use the phrase just, meaning that it could be an hour ago or a minute ago, but it's a recent incident. So you can use the word just to explain such situations. And then we have, what did they say? So you notice how say is emphasized, but the intonation falls at the end of the word. This is a what question. So the intonation falls at the end. The intonation falls at the end. So in a what question, obviously it's a question that needs information. So the intonation falls at the end. Unlike when the intonation rises at the end, you know that it is a yes or no question. But if the intonation falls at the end, our question needs a detailed information of the question asked. If you read any context where it says the intonation falls at the end, you know that the question is an information question, a what question. When someone says what, you cannot say yes, you cannot say no. You will obviously explain in details what they need to hear. All right. And then we have at the supermarket. As you can see there, we are having two ladies at the supermarket with a trolley full of groceries. Now we are going to look at Louise and Julia. Louise, Louise and Louise and Julia. Coming back to our screen. Um, who's taking the role of Louise and who's Julia? Who is taking Louise and who's portraying Julia? I need two people. Anyone? All right. We have Nelson and who else? Nelson and Florence. Right. Nelson, you will play the role of Louise, and Julia is going to be Florence. Let me zoom in the screen. Let me zoom in the screen so that we can all see. Right. Over to you guys.
Hey, Julia. Hey, Julia. Hey, Julia, look at those desserts. Oh, about baking some cookies today.
Julia, we are waiting for you. Julia. Florence. Florence.
Oui, okay. Yeah, that is a great idea. Well, where, where, Let us pick up
Wait,
the ingredient.
wait. It's while we are here.
Well, we're here.
While, like you're saying why, but you put
Okay.
the L. While we are here.
While we are here.
Yes.
While we are here, let us pick up the ingredient.
Let's pick up the ingredients.
Okay. Let us pick up the ingredient.
Ingredients.
The ingredients.
Yes. Julia?
Can I repeat again?
Okay. Can Louise start from the beginning?
Okay.
Hey Julia, look at those desserts. All about baking some cookies today.
How about baking some cookies today? How about baking?
Hey Julia, look at those desserts. All about baking some cookies today.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you get the dairy ingredients? You
You skipped. You skipped. We are still at the beginning. You are saying, that's a great idea. While we are here, let's pick up the ingredients. You are still there.
okay.
You can
Hmm.
continue, Julia.
Yeah, that is a great idea. Well, well, let us pick up the ingredient. Okay, what do you need?
The, the recipe calls for flour, sugar, and butter. Oh,
Wait,
and we
wait. The recipe calls for flour, sugar, and butter.
the recipe calls for flour, sugar, and butter.
Sugar. That is, you pronounce it SH. Sugar.
Okay, ma'am. The recipe calls for flour, sugar, and butter.
Sugar. Shh. Like you are saying shh.
Okay. The recipe calls for flour, sugar, and butter.
Butter.
Oh, and
It's fine. Continue.
we also need eggs and chocolate chips.
Why don't you get the dairy ingredients? You will find those in the refrigerated section in the back of the store. I will get the dry ingredient. They are in else 10.
Okay. Continue.
Great. Let's meet at the checkpoint.
Okay, see you there.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. You tried. You really tried. I'm going to read the dialogue again. So this goes to all of you. I need you guys to listen to each and every single word that I pronounce. and the intonation, where it's rising, where it's falling, the pause, and everything. We have Julia and Louise at the store. Hey, Julia, listen. Hey, Julia, look at those desserts. How about baking some cookies today? And then Julia says, yeah, that's a great idea. While we are here, let's pick up the ingredients. Okay, what do we need? The recipe calls for flour, sugar, and butter. Oh, and we also need eggs and chocolate chips. Why don't you get the diary ingredients? Sorry, not diary, dairy. Why don't you get the dairy ingredients? You'll find those in the refrigerated section in the back of the store. I'll get the dry ingredients. They are in aisle 10. That word is aisle. The S is completely dead, it's silence. Like it's this one is it's words like often. When you pronounce often, you pronounce it as often, but when you write it, you write often. The T is silent. So even here, the aisle is pronounced aisle, but it's written aisle. This is a shelf in a store where you will find, when you walk in a store, you find that there's rows. Like this section, they put dairy products. This side, they put meal, they put sugar, they put tea, they put coffee, and then the other side, they put the cleaning deodorants, and then the other side, they put the cosmetics. Those sides, the shelves, they are called the aisle. Even the word aisle has two meanings. Another aisle is the one that happens when you get married. They say she's walking down the aisle. When the bride is coming like this, we say she's walking down the aisle, but it is written the same. It is spelled Aisle, but when you pronounce it, you kill the S completely. It's pronounced aisle instead of isel. And then Louise says, great, let's meet at the checkout. Okay, see you there. Now we are going to have a look at the language notes. How about this one is a casual way of doing an activity or suggesting to do an activity. And then you should also notice that how about it is followed by an ing verb. So because of now you are suggesting to do something, it is obviously going to be a continuous tense because it is something that you will be doing. So as you can see, our ing verb there is what? Baking. How about baking some cookies today? If you want to use the same verb in a suggestion of how about, you can also use words like, how about we go swimming today? How about we go running? How about we go jogging? How about we do some cooking? It is a suggestion of doing an activity, but it is followed by the ing verb. Once you see yourself using the words how about, you should know that whatever verb that you are going to state should be an ing verb. We have, you should notice that Julia pauses for a moment because this is an expression that is used to think about something before speaking. Just like Kathy at the doctor's office, before she was telling the doctor what could be the symptoms, she started with hmm. It's a pause. You think about something before you say it. So clearly here Julia was thinking of what to say to Louise. If you are asking somebody a question and then she begins her answer with you should know that they are probably not sure and they're still thinking of the answer they want to give you. We have That's a great idea. Someone's mic is on and is a little bit disturbing. Can you please turn it off, please? Thank you. That's a great idea. You should notice the emphasis on great, meaning it's the key point. Julia has thought about it and then she decided that she really wants to bake cookies. She really does want to bake cookies. When someone says we have good, we have great, she could have easily said that's a good idea. A good idea, it's a good idea. But when you say great, it means that you really want to do something. You really like that's so great. That's a great idea. It means that you are looking forward to doing that activity. And then we have the recipe calls for flour. The recipe calls. This means that is a way of saying this is what we need. The recipe says that we need this, this, and that. The phrase call for can also be used to talk about the weather forecast. In weather, they normally use this phrase when they are predicting what could happen tomorrow regarding the weather. They could say, we have a 25 degrees or 70 degrees. This calls for, it means that it says that we could have too much heat or too much rain. And then we have flour, sugar, and butter. We all know what a flour is. It is the one that we use to bake a cake. And then a sugar, usually we pour that in tea. When we are serving tea, you ask someone, how many spoons of sugar would you like? And then we have butter that is normally used to spread on the bread. When we eat, when we drink tea, we have our two slices and then we spread butter. But butter can also be used for baking to add the tenderness and softness on the cookies. Notice that this is a list, so there are short pauses between each item. And then notice that each ingredient is stressed because this information is important. So now when we have a list, here I'm going to give you an example of how to use your commas. When we have a list of 2 or 3 or 4, let me say 3, 4, or 5 things that you need to state in accordance, you will say flour, comma, sugar, and then before the last ingredient or before the last word on your list, you are no longer using a comma, you put the word and. The recipe calls for flour, comma, sugar, and butter. But if we had flour, water, sugar, and butter, this means that you will have your word flour and then you put the comma, you have the word water, you put the comma, you have the word sugar, and then you add and butter instead of a comma. This means that if you only had sugar and butter, you will not need the comma in your list. You just use the word and. And then now, why don't you? This expression is used to ask someone to do something. It can also be used to give advice. But in this case, two friends are deciding on who does which task. So if someone says to you, why don't you? This one is a question that says, can you do, why don't you do this and I'll do this? Why don't you go? Why don't you stay? Why don't you? It's a question that you ask someone to do. And then it can also be given used to give advice, like if you are having problems and then you go to your friend, you tell them your problems, you say, friend, I'm stressed, I don't know what to do, like at work they need this and that, at home they need this, I don't know what to do. She can advise you and say, why don't you call at work and explain it to them, then probably be at home with your family. That is advice. When someone says, why don't you? It's either they are telling you, I mean, they are asking you to do something, or they are giving you advice on something. And then we have I'll. I already explained this one, but I'm still going to need you to look at the language note and I will explain it again. Notice the silent on S. The S in aisle it is completely silent. An aisle is an orderly lane in a supermarket with shelved products on both sides. Each aisle has a number so that it is easy to find what you need. Normally in stores like ShopRite. I don't know if you guys know ShopRite, but I believe you do. In shops like ShopRite, we have on the aisles they don't put numbers, but they hang something on top that has names. This side it will be written kitchen. The other side it will be written um cosmetic, and this side it will be written pasta, macaroni, and meal. The other side they will it will show you, so that, and they put it at the top, like almost at the roof, so that when you are wherever that you are standing, if you know that you need a bath soap, you'll just look up and then you know that that aisle is, it contains what I am looking for. So this is all for today. Let me see how many we are remained with, so that we can push probably on Monday, because tomorrow. Okay, so I've been getting text, guys, from some of you, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining, because remember, I'm the one who said you can text me. On Fridays, we usually don't come in. So when it's Thursday and I'm saying see you, see, have a great weekend, I'm literally saying to you that it is the last day, like, of the week. So we are going to continue on Monday with the lesson. So let me see. Probably on Monday, I would I would like us to do, let me see. We are going to do 1, running errands. 2, at the post office. 3, catching up after class. Shopping and transportations. Probably 5, 4 or 5. So in respective of that, I would really like you guys to be as early as you can. I'd really like you guys to be as early as you can. Sorry. So that we can push, because remember that Monday I gave you guys an assignment yesterday, which is I'm going to remind you again today, that you do the assignment, you write for me 1 formal conversation, 1 informal conversation. There mustn't be long because we are many, and then I need to hear each and every one of you. You just make 1 formal conversation, 1 informal conversation, and then you're just going to read them for me. And then I just need to hear what you guys think, how you think, how you understand the conversation, how you pronounce some words, how you can be able to portray the imagination of what you're thinking about. And I want to be there in your conversation as well. Like, I want to feel like, okay, I see where you're going. That's what I'm asking. You have a long weekend, and I think you can do that. Even if you will be busy, just take your time. Even if you make one conversation 2 sentences or 3 sentences, it's fine, as long as you did something. Be part of us. Don't be present but absent. Be part of us, because we are all here to learn. And that is also going to help you, your speaking vocabulary. You will improve a lot if you take part in these things. So I don't know, anyone else who wants to say something before we go? Is anyone else interested in saying anything? You can suggest, you can ask for clarification, you can complain. It's all allowed. Anything, anyone? No one. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for your time and dedication. And
Thank you all so much.
same time, same place. From me to you, I'll say good night and I'll love you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye, coach.
Bye, Florence.
Bye.